Hey, it's Nate with another piano tutorial. Today I'm going to do Right Down the Line by Jerry Rafferty. Sam Evian also did an amazing cover of this song, which is part of the reason it's been on my mind. The song is fairly simple and easy to learn, but I'm going to show you a couple of cool rhythms and arpeggios to kick it up a notch if you want. After a quick preview of how it's going to sound, we'll get right into it.
When I wanted you to share my life, I had no doubt in my mind, and it's been you, woman, right down the line.
All right, I'm going to start out with the main chord progression for the verses. It's also used in the intro. And I recommend getting the chords and lyrics chart. There's a link down in the description. That'll help you follow along and see where the chords line up with the words. So here's that chord progression. We're going to start on a D minor chord. It's an inversion on a D minor chord. Right hand's going to play A, D, and F, while the left hand just plays a D bass note. Then that's going to step down to a similar inversion of a C major chord. So left hand plays a C, right hand plays G, C, and E. Now we've got an A minor chord. So left hand's going to hit that A bass note. Right hand's already playing the C and E we need, so the thumb just needs to come up to an A, C, E. And then finally for this line, we're going to do an F. So left hand's going to come down to that F bass note. Now, similarly, we can keep two of the notes and just move our pinky up to the F. So instead of doing a root position F, we're doing this inversion, A, C, and F. So it does this line 3 times before the second line. Now, before we go any further, we're in 4/4 time, so that means that we're counting 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, and each one of these measures gets 4 counts. So that first line would be 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. Just notice that you have to stretch your left hand a little bit. It doesn't fit under 5 fingers. I'm doing like 1, 2, and then kind of pivoting to 3 and 5 there. Okay, and for the next line, it's some of the same chords. It's going to start on that C that we were doing, exact same way. Then it goes to a measure of G, so your thumb can stay where it was and your hand just collapses down into just a typical G major chord, G, B, D. Of course, we're doing that G bass note there. Then we've got a measure where we've got 2 chords in the same measure, so it's split in half. They each just get 2 counts, so that's going to be A minor, just like we were doing it, and G like we were doing it. So 1, 2, 3, 4. Now we've got an F. I'm actually just going to continue that root position shape movement down and do this F like this, F, A, C. I think technically on the recording, the guitar is voicing it and you can hear that high F, but it's really satisfying to just take that same shape down, down, and that's for the right down the line. So that part's pretty fun. Let me play through that whole first verse and we'll add some more rhythm soon, but it's going to sound like,
you know I need your love, you've got that hold over me. As long as I got your love, you know that I'll never leave. When I wanted you to share my life, I had no doubt in my mind, and it's been you, woman, right down the line.
And then, yeah, there's 2 measures of that F at the end. And just a side note, when we go to that G on woman, it's so satisfying. Up until that moment, the song has kind of implied that it's in the key of F, where with F kind of acting as the home bass. But if we were in the key of F, a G chord would be minor. But the G is major here, and that moment where it hits just has just the right amount of kind of surprise, and it's really satisfying. So let's stick with this verse for a sec and think about how we might kick up the rhythm a little bit. Now, on the recording, there's this bass line that's like boom, bump, boom, 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 bump, boom, that gives the song this nice kind of bouncy groove to it. And to count that rhythm, we need to be thinking in 8th notes. So instead of just 1, 2, 3, 4, we're thinking 1 and 2 and 3 and 4, dividing the beat up. And that bass hit, boom, bump, that happens is on the and after 2. So it's like 1, 2, and 3. And it's pretty hard to play the bass line from the recording with the left hand while doing right hand chords and singing. So for my version, I'm going to represent that rhythm with the right hand chords actually. And basically I'm going to play on beat 1, the and after 2, and beat 4. So let's just practice that on the D minor chord that the verse starts with. So we're going to do 1, 2, and 3, 4. 1, 2, and 3, 4. 1, 2, and 3, 4. When you get the hang of that, you can start adding the left hand in. The left hand can just hold the notes. 1, 2, and 3, 4. 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 So that kind of gives it the energy that I was looking for. Side note, I am holding down my sustain pedal the whole time I'm playing with just quick little lifts every time the chord changes. That helps smooth everything out. If you need help with the timing of pedal lifts, I made a video all about that. If you're just going along playing the verse with that rhythm, you might run into a little bit of trouble when you hit that A minor to G measure where the chords change a little quicker. So for that measure, we'll just do kind of the first half of the rhythm twice. So like 1, 2, and 3, 4, and. So we're not hitting on beat 4 in that measure. We're just doing the first part twice. 1, 2, and 3, 4, and. You could also think of it as 1, 2, and 1, 2, and. And I'm just going to hit those chords with both hands, left and right together. If that feels too bouncy to you, you could just do that rhythm with either the left or the right. But so that's gonna be, and it's been you, woman, right down the line. So for the 2 measures of F here, I'm just gonna go back to that same old rhythm. Okay, so that's the verse. That whole progression happens several times through the song. Before we move on to the bridge, I want to touch on the intro. The intro is the same chord progression. It's basically just one time through that verse chord progression. But on the recording, there is this slide guitar solo. The thing is, on piano, if we were to try to do that slide guitar solo melody in the right hand, then we would lose some of the chords and stuff unless we were using some really advanced techniques. So maybe you're going to play this with someone who can do the lead guitar. But also, we can think about spicing up the piano part we've already got, and maybe in a way that's a little bit more complicated because in the intro you don't have to worry about singing, so you can focus all your energy on the playing in your hands. And I'm going to show you an arpeggio that sounds kind of cool. It sounds like this. So I'm going to play the intro like that. It just makes it a little bit more of kind of a lead part so it can stand on its own without vocals. And basically what I'm going to do is on beat 1 of every measure, I'm going to play the left-hand bass note, and then I'm going to climb up each individual note of the chord and back down to the middle note. And the rhythm I'm doing there is 1, 2, and 3, and 4, and 1, 2, and 3, and 4, and 1, 2, and 3, and 4, and. So once you get the hang of that, take it really slow. You can start to just map it out over the chord progression. 1, 2, and 3, and 4, and 1, 2, and 3, and 4, and 1, 2, and 3, and 4, and 1, 2, and 3, and 4, and. And then when you get to the part where you have the 2 chords in one measure, I'm just going to do 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1, 2 and 3 and 4 and 1. So play around with that a little bit. You could even do it up an octave higher in the right hand. That might sound kind of cool. Feel free to modify that arpeggio or rhythm however you want. And if doing an arpeggio like that is too tricky, I think it'll totally work to just hold the chords for the intro. Okay, so let's do the bridge. So that's going to be the I just want to say this is my way of telling you everything I could never say before. So here's the chord progression, whole bunch of chords. Everything just lasts for 1 measure, with the exception of the D minor at the end of the first line, which lasts for 2. So we start with this D major. It's just like the D minor we were doing, except for the F is sharped. Next, we've got a B minor. You're already doing 2 of the notes here that you need. So we're gonna go down to a B bass note here, and the thumb is just gonna come up to a B. Now we've got a G. We can do that G the same way we've been doing it. Then we've got an E over A flat. This note is going to come up to an A flat bass note. We can keep this B here in the right hand, although I'm going to switch the fingers for it. So thumb on A flat, second finger on B, pinky on E. You could do the third finger as well. I just like the shape a little bit better with this inversion. Then we've got an A major, just like the A minor we were doing, but we have a D flat or a C sharp here. And then F the way you're doing it, then you get to D minor. Now the second time around is kind of similar, but it just starts on the B minor for, yeah, this is my way of telling you. So same chords again, that every day I'm loving you so much. And I kind of want to put a D minor here for more, but that D minor is also the start of the next verse, and it kind of belongs to the verse. So much more, 'cause you believed in me. In terms of the left-hand fingers in this part, it gets a little bit weird. I'm not convinced that I do it the same way every time. You should just kind of feel it out. There's a lot of different ways that could work. I'll probably do like thumb, third or second finger on that B. Probably use pinky, then climb up to fourth, and then third here for that part. Doesn't matter too much as long as you don't do something like really wacky. And then we can apply that same kind of energetic rhythm we were doing in the verses to the bridge as well. I just want to say this is my way of telling you. I might actually add a little bit more rhythm. The bridges feel like they're kind of the climactic moment of the song. So just to add a little bit more energy, I'm going to do 1, 2, and 3, and 4. Just one extra left-hand bass note hit right before the last right-hand chord of the pattern. So 1, 2, and 3, and 4. 1, 2, and 3, and 4. You can think of it as together, right, together, right, left, right. Yeah, that's going to do it for that section. After you do a bridge and then you go to another verse, there is the solo section. We can kind of treat that like the intro was. It's the main verse chord progression with a guitar solo over it. So we can do that arpeggio again. I'm going to kick it up a notch though. If any of this gets too tricky, no worries. It's totally optional, but first off, I'm going to put my right hand up an octave higher. And then, you know how we were doing low note, high note, middle note? For every middle note and high note, I'm going to hit the low note of the chord again. So it's going to be like, just gives a little bit more harmony. Yeah, works for all the chords. Yeah, you don't need a guitar solo if you're doing something like that. It makes it really engaging to the ear. I might even add a couple extra rhythms in the left hand. So that's 1, 2, and 3, and 4, and 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 you can think of that as left, right together, right, left, right together, right, left, right. If you like that rhythm, just take it really slow and map it out kind of mathematically, put it together, gradually speed it up. It'll click into place and you'll get it down so you can just play it. After that solo section, there is another bridge, just like the first bridge. Then there is one more verse, final verse, just like the other verses. If you want to keep the energy going from the bridge where we were doing that extra rhythm on the, doing that extra left hand hit, you could do that in the verses. If I should doubt myself, if I'm losing ground. One final thing I'm going to say is if you have done my course Piano Chord Breakthroughs, where we learn a bunch of kind of more advanced rhythms, the one we do on here today, I think in module 4, would work really well here. If I should doubt myself, if I'm losing ground. Going through that all step by step would be too long for this video, but if you're interested in that, check out that course. There's links in the description. So at this point, we can think about wrapping up the song. On the recording, there's an outro that is basically the same as the bridges, but there's no vocals except for some oohs like ooh. something like that. The problem is, though, that chord progression doesn't really feel like it lands anywhere. It's kind of cyclical, and on the recording, it just fades out, which is not something that works very well when it's just you and piano. So you could just go through that chord progression from the bridge as an instrumental and maybe end on the D minor at the end of it. But I think I might just end it at the end of the third verse. So, and it's been you, woman, right down the line. That feels like a pretty solid place to land in lieu of being able to do a fade out on the recording. All right, thank you for sticking with me. I'm going to do a full cover now so you can hear how all these different parts we've just learned fit together in the entire arrangement. If you enjoyed this, please subscribe to my channel. Hit that subscribe button, hit the bell so you know when I put out more videos like this. Have a look around my channel to see if any other songs catch your eye. And if none do, leave a request in the comments. Anyway, here is my version of Right Down the Line.
You know I need your love. You've got that hold over me. Long as I got your love, you know that I'll never leave. When I wanted you to share my life, I had no doubt in my mind. And it's been you, woman, right down the line. I know how much I lean on you, only you can see. The changes that I've been through have left a mark on me. You've been as constant as the northern star, the brightest light that shines. And it's been you, woman, right down the line. I just wanna say this is my way of telling you everything I could never say before. Yeah, this is my way of telling you that every day I'm loving you so much more, 'cause you believed in me through my darkest night. Put something better inside of me. You brought me into the light. Threw away all those crazy dreams, I put them all behind. And it was you, woman, right down the line. Just wanna say this is my way of telling you everything I could never say before. Yeah, this is my way of telling you that every day I'm loving you so much more. If I should doubt myself, if I'm losing ground, I won't turn to someone else. It only let me down. in my mind, and it's been you, woman, right